On this week's episode of Pete's Corner, follow me as I hit different landmarks along Route 66, as well as seeing all different kinds of special and fun locations along the way. But first, I had to stop at Pop's because they offer 700 different flavors of soda and other cold refreshments. They even offer a shake and entree menu. I know. So let's go check it out. There were so many different flavors, but I had to go with two classics, grape soda and orange soda. And I'm gonna go ahead and toss it to Mitchell Moreland, who went to a museum that's 15 minutes away from here that celebrates all things Western. So I'm gonna go ahead and try berry lemonade soda. Pretty good. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Oklahoma City is home to one of the most expansive museums in the United States. That same museum is also the home of the world's most expansive collection of American rodeo photographs, barbed wire, saddlery, and early rodeo trophies. The National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum is America's premier institution of Western history, art, and culture. It's only appropriate that the biggest Western history museum in the world resides in the heart of cowboy country. The museum was founded in 1955 as the National Cowboy Hall of Fame and Museum. It wasn't until 2000 when the American Alliance of Museums gave it full accreditation. It then took on its present-day name. The 200,000 square foot museum is located in North Oklahoma City and is the premier destination for cowboys and rodeo buffs, not only in the Midwest, but also in the world.
We have a lot of international travelers. A lot of people come from Japan. So we have a lot of international and a lot of people coming down Route 66.
The history of the museum is just as unique as the history that is stored inside of it. From Western art to artifacts, this incredible museum has it all. Inside the museum, the unique exhibits tell the story of the West. From cowboys and rodeos to Native Americans and Old Western art, the museum features everything that is necessary to tell the complex story of the West. Museum curator Nathan Jones says that his team carefully picks what gets displayed.
But we also change out what's in the gallery, and that happens probably about 4 times a year, maybe more, maybe less. It depends on what comes in, what comes back from loans at other exhibitions.
Along with the exhibits, the museum also features a one-of-a-kind rodeo history archive. The world-renowned Dickinson Research Center archives rodeo photography and anything that is vital to telling the story of the early West. It is the museum's key tool to presenting the West accurately and positively to the American public. Even if you don't consider yourself a cowboy, this museum is worth a visit because it is the only one like it in the world, and it's right here in the heart of cowboy country, Oklahoma. For Pete's Corner, I'm Mitchell Moreland.
I know what you all are thinking. Where did she get that cowboy hat? And, well, the answer is, are you even Oklahoman if you don't own a cowboy hat? Well, as you can see, I'm standing in front of a big red and round barn on Route 66. The round barn was built in 1898 in Arcadia, and the structure was designed with the impression that being round would help it survive Oklahoma's famous tornadic conditions. The round barn has a loft that is available for parties, weddings, fundraisers, and any event you can imagine. Located 30 minutes south of where I'm at right now, in the heart of Oklahoma City, lies a memorial in honor of those lives that were lost on April 19, 1995. Our reporter Jason Colicchio will tell us more, and then later Crystal Moto will take us to Oklahoma City's most beautiful and vibrant garden. Now I have to hit the road because I have an hour-long drive ahead of me, but stick around and don't miss me.
Up until September 11, 2001, the Oklahoma City bombing was the worst terrorist attack to take place on U.S. soil. At 9:02 a.m., a Ryder rental truck packed with plastic explosives detonated in front of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The blast collapsed the north side of the 9-story building, instantly killing more than 100 people and trapping dozens more in the rubble. 2 weeks after the horrific event, The rescue effort ended, and the death toll stood at 168, including 19 young children who were in the building's daycare center at the time of the blast. More than 650 other people were injured in the bombing, which damaged or destroyed over 300 buildings in the immediate area.
Watching them carry out children that were my child's age, who were dead or terribly injured, and I really don't think I've ever had anything affect me as much as I did that, and I think it was just because it was actually my home.
We come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. May all who leave here know the impact of violence. May this memorial offer comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity. This memorial mission statement and the museum itself will continue to tell the tale of what happened that day, even without the help of financial aid from federal or state government. From the indoor memorial museum that takes people on a self-guided tour through the story days, weeks, and years after the bombing, to the outdoor symbolic memorial that honors the victims, survivors, and rescuers from that day, encompassing the now sacred soil where the Murray Building once stood, as well as the surrounding areas devastated by the attack. This memorial doesn't receive any annual operating funds from the government, but thanks to museum admissions, store sales, the Memorial Marathon, private fundraising, and earnings from an endowment, the memorial can self-sustain.
So I signed up last year for the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, and it's really easy to sign up. You just go online, look at the link, and it'll take you right there. But the reason this Memorial Marathon is important to me is because my dad was downtown when it happened, and just hearing him talk about like how frightening it was, it's really important to keep the memory going.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Jason Colicchio.
In the heart of downtown OKC, the Myriad Botanical Gardens was created to give downtown OKC a new beginning, and it did by slowly improving the gardens by adding a restaurant, amphitheater, children's play area, a small dog park, and feature an ice skating rink during the winter. With these improvements, the Myriad Botanical Gardens won the 2015 ULI Urban Open Space Award. The garden offers a variety of activities and seasonal events throughout the year. Their goal is to help seek vibrancy to your life through the public garden and education. Not only does the garden serve as a tourist destination, but also have a gardening school for adults and have teamed up with John Rex Schools by offering them a horticulture class.
These kids will get to a real sense of what's good for Oklahoma atmosphere as far as planting, and then they'll get to see their tulips come up in the spring.
The 17-acre park has so much to offer, whether it's festivals or in the gardens or just a place to grab a bite. The place that stands out the most is the Crystal Bridge. The Crystal Bridge is a climate-controlled bridge that leads into a tropical paradise which features over 1,000 different species of plants. Some of those plants range from palms, cycads, gingers, orchards, and begonias. Roberta has more on how often they change plants.
These certain areas that you see seasonal changes with, and other areas the plants just stay there all the time and move around as they die or start to look bad or something like that.
For 30 years, the Myriad Botanical Gardens' vision was to bring back people to downtown, and it has continued to find ways to keep the gardens growing by promoting education and creating events for all those around the world.
Magic started happening, great events, seasonal events, movies in the summertime, on the lawn, Pumpkinville in the fall, ice rink in the winter.
If you're looking for a getaway from this winter weather, make sure to visit the Myriad Botanical Gardens. Their upcoming events this month include Yoga in the Garden, Illuminations, Devon Ice Rink, Thanksgiving Tea Party, and more. For Pete's Corner, I'm Crystal Moda.
Okay, so the best part of a road trip is the food options along the way. And I saw so many great options, but I wanted to hurry and get to Tulsa to show you all Tally's Good Food Cafe on Route 66. Tally's has multiple different awards for their food, and I personally cannot wait to try their cinnamon rolls. at this thing. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it, but don't underestimate me. Let's zoom in on this massive plate of deliciousness. Do you see the frosting and the cinnamon? This is going to be delicious. Although I got the cinnamon roll, there are plenty of other options on the menu. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into this cinnamon roll, but stick around and we'll be back shortly. But in the meantime, listen to what Dylan Ford has to share about a restaurant in Luther, Oklahoma that is near Route 66.
Route 66 is like a vein pumping blood to the heart of our nation. Since 1926, this two-lane highway has been known as the Path to Western Promise for Okies and is also known as the Mother Road. It's a highway steeped in history and tradition. The Boundary has been contributing to that tradition for just over a decade. This homey barbecue restaurant is called the Boundary because it's located at 66 and Indian Meridian, which was the eastern boundary in the land run of 1889. It provides locals and tourists with a friendly and authentic Route 66 experience. Donnie and Buffy Samara are the owners and operators. Donnie cooks and Buffy stays up front to speak with customers and wait on tables. Donnie says they're proud to be the owners of the Boundary and loves being a stop on Route 66 for travelers.
You know, these types of restaurants are going to be few and far between here real soon. You know, everything seems to be moving towards the food trucks, and even that's gotten expensive. But to be able to open a restaurant like we opened this, with the amount of money that we opened it with, is just unheard of. You know, we didn't spend anything. And just little by little kept developing it, you know. So we're very blessed to have what we have. Very blessed.
Katie May Howard loves the Boundary and is more than willing to support such a unique local business.
So I've been coming to the Boundary since I was a kid. I live out at Lake Hiawassee, which is on Route 66, so this is one of the closest restaurants to my house. We loved coming out here with our neighbors and with my family. The Boundary is hands down the best restaurant on Route 66.
The Boundary may accentuate the history of Route 66, but just 10 miles east of the Boundary, you'll find another barbecue place that's making its own tradition as well as award-winning barbecue. It's called The Butcher Stand, and it's in Wellston, Oklahoma. This rustic barbecue restaurant has only outdoor seating. It's only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they sell out almost every day they're
really
open.
Hang our hat on like perfect, and so I'm here every single day, hands on. I'm here at 3 o'clock in the morning until we close every day. We're cleaning up right now, you know what I mean? So being part of every process. So I just think it's just that, the perseverance of just getting it perfect. Background, my dad's actually the guy that does the competitions, and so I used to compete with him. So we started competing in 2006, and then whenever I opened this up in 2015, I've been here because it's all weekends. So, but my dad just won, the team just won the Jack Daniels, which is the most prestigious contest in the country, literally. It's against, is there 67 teams, but they're all grand champions from all different around the country and stuff. This is our 6th time there. We've won like sauce there, and we've won like pork there, but he ended up winning the whole thing this year. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's great.
From old traditions to new, from good home cooking to an award-winning crew. For Pete's Corner, I'm Dylan Ford.
That cinnamon roll was so delicious, and I told you I wouldn't need any help finishing it. I highly recommend coming here because the atmosphere is so fun and makes me feel super comfortable. But about 6 minutes away from where I am now is a famous landmark that happens to be Tulsa's oldest standing theater that originally opened in 1928. While I start heading over there, I'm going to continue to make you hungry because Haley Woodard went to a restaurant in Stillwater, Oklahoma that isn't only famous in Oklahoma, but famous worldwide.
Eskimo Joe's began as a simple bar in 1975 and quickly grew into what is now one of the most popular destination spots in Stillwater.
The inception of Eskimo Joe's was absolutely a wild hare. It was a Sunday afternoon. I'm at a friend's house. He walks in, he goes, "Hey Clark, I'm gonna open a bar." I go, "Hey Phil, that's a neat idea. I'll go in partners with you." We drove down to what's now Eskimo Joe's, and bada bing, 15 minutes later we shook hands and decided to rent this building here at 501 West Elm.
Originally, the building was a lot smaller, consisting of a bar downstairs and Stan Clark's apartment upstairs. The carpentry work in the bar was actually done by Stan himself, and it still stands in its original form. The simple bar eventually expanded into a bigger building with a full restaurant, which now serves Joe's most favorite dish, sweet pepper bacon cheese fries. Stan says the cheese fries did not become a signature item until one special afternoon in May of 1990.
In the year 1990, when President Bush did the commencement exercise here at then Lewis Field, now Boone Pickens Stadium, of course, one of his first comments was, "I wish Barbara could be with me here. She did tell me to get a beer and some cheese fries over at Eskimo Joe's."
Aside from the fries, Joe's prides itself on their involvement with many different organizations.
Stan always likes to say that Eskimo Joe's shares the big grin for the greater good. We are so honored that we're in a position, because of our customers and because of our popularity, to be able to do some great things in and around our community.
Eskimo Joe's is unique not only to Stillwater, but to the entire nation. Many people come to town just to get a bite of the famous cheese fries and experience the overall atmosphere. Eskimo Joe's isn't just a bar, it's a place to make memories with family and friends. And the coolest part? Joe's is still located in the exact same spot that it was in 1975. So if you're ever feeling like a good time, then go down to Eskimo Joe's. For Pete's Corner, I'm Haley Woodard.
Let me tell you guys, I am from Stillwater, and Eskimo Joe's is definitely something that people are proud of. It's a must visit. I'm at the Circle Cinema right now, and this is a place I frequent often. This nonprofit theater screens independent and artistic films, and I love that about this place. This cinema has been around since 1928, and it also includes an art gallery. Let's go check out the inside. This theater is definitely one of a kind and a must visit. And if these screens aren't tall enough for you and you want a more classic way of viewing films, then it's time for you to get in your car and head to a place that was featured in the famous film The Outsiders, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So this landmark will guarantee you have a good time.
The Admiral Twin Drive-In is a popular spot in Tulsa known for family fun and its ability to provide an experience from the past. Located in northeastern Tulsa, right off Highway 244, the Admiral Twin Drive-In is an attraction unlike any other in the area. The theater is named the Admiral Twin Drive-In because of its two identical screens that are 9 stories in height. Co-founder Blake Smith has worked at the drive-in since 1987 and hopes that the theater serves the community above anything else.
So there's definitely an attitude of giving back to the community and trying to keep it priced right for families, and a place where the community can come to and gather and watch family movies. It's more about the experience than it probably is about the like an indoor theater.
The drive-in was used as one of the locations for the infamous movie The Outsiders. The movie's plot is centered around a teen gang in rural Oklahoma, and many of the movie's locations were shot in the Tulsa area. Additionally, the movie Rumblefish also used the drive-in as one of its shooting locations.
That is really our claim to fame. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt about that. I would say it gets mentioned a ton to me, and probably 10 or 15 times a year, going back to far back as I can remember, we'll get people coming out there just taking pictures and talking about The Outsiders.
While the drive-in is now closed for the season, the theater offers a full snack bar for customers, affordable ticket prices, and fun for all ages. For Pete's Corner, I'm Hallie Barham.
Drive-in movies are so much fun. There's nothing better than cuddling up in the comfort of your own car. And if movies really aren't your cup of tea for entertainment, Tulsa has so many different fun places for people to visit. So stick around and you will find out about a fun location that you will definitely need your dancing shoes for. I'm on the way to the historic village to speak with Mr. Mike Massey to learn about Tulsa's early city history. Follow me.
Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, Oklahoma is one of the most historic music venues in the whole state. In 1924, when Cain's Ballroom first opened, it didn't start out as a music venue. It was a car garage for W. Tate Brady's automobiles. Madison W. Daddy Cain purchased the garage in 1930 and turned it into a music venue and named it Cain's Dance Academy, where Mr. Cain would charge 10 cents for dance lessons. In 1932, Bob Willis was a regular performer at Cain's and also hosted a popular radio show from Cain's on KVOO from 1924 to 1942. 82-year-old Marie Myers purchased the ballroom in 1972 and planned to turn it into a full-time dance hall, but eventually sold it in 1976 to rock concert investor Larry Schaefer. Schaefer focused on turning Cain's Ballroom into a true music venue and booked the Sex Pistols in 1978, and after that, Cain's Ballroom became a premier spot for artists to come when in Oklahoma. In 2010, Pulsar ranked Cain's Ballroom number 26 worldwide in ticket sales at club venues.
So I am here at the Historical Village on Route 66, and I am standing with Mr. Mike Massey, the project manager and president of this organization. So can you just kind of tell me what this place is?
What it's all about?
Yeah.
Well, it's a historical village that is dedicated to the transportation and the oil industry, two major industries that help Tulsa to grow and prosper. We're going to be showing many different displays, exhibits of representing like transportation and the oil industry. Primarily what we're standing in right now, a railroad caboose, and this whole train is going to be on display so people can tour them and actually see and learn what the railroaders experienced when they were going down the track hauling freight or hauling passengers. Okay, right here where we're standing is going to be placed a vintage potbelly stove that was donated to us recently. Had it repaired, and it will be sitting right here. Of course, here's the opening where the stack will go out. And in the fall and winter, we're going to fire it up and serve hot coffee and cocoa for the visitors.
Like you said, this is a perfect place for families and friends to come gather here to enjoy this historical village. So speaking of gathering, we are going to go to Santi Solano, who's going to show us the perfect park for families to gather.
Looking for a fun place to spend the afternoon with the family? Look no further than the Gathering Place. Located on Tulsa's riverfront, the Gathering Place is something for everyone. From extravagant playgrounds for the children to a full skate park and 5 outdoor sports courts where you can play basketball, volleyball, street hockey, and street soccer. Apart from the entertainment for the children, the Gathering Place offers many things for adults to do as well, like their 50-plus annual events or their daily events, which feature special lighting around the park and live music. First-time visitor Tony Farrow was in awe by the park.
It's amazing. It has everything a kid could want. It's like a kid's dream. And it's a parent's dream too, because they have a bunch of places where we can sit and watch our kids play at a safe distance and not be in the crowd. It's not overcrowded. You can do anything here. This is the best.
After a long day of watching your kids, you can come back to the lodge and enjoy some food and drinks in the patio, or if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, you can head down to the Red Bud Cafe, located right under the lodge, which has a great view of Peggy's Pond.
It's getting a bit chilly now, but come back over the summer and paddle along Peggy's Pond with over 40 paddle boats and kayaks offered by the Gathering Place.
Aside from all the entertainment, the Gathering Place also has a beautiful scenery to look at, including the wetlands, Sky Garden, or you could just take a stroll down the Four Seasons Garden.
It's beautiful. It's crazy how much effort and work they put into and how much thought they put into every single detail of it. It's really great.
The Gathering Place has over 80 tree species and 400 different types of plants to admire. And since it's open 365 days, you can go out during different times of the year and see how the park's aesthetic changes with the seasons. For Pete's Corner, I'm Santiago Solano.
Okay, wow, this is easily the best thing that I've seen today. So this is the best and well-known attraction on Route 66 in Oklahoma. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, definitely, and a lot bluer than I thought it would be. It sits on a pond of water, but unfortunately you can no longer swim in it. So that's why Daniel Norman went to a location in Oklahoma that has plenty of outdoor and on the water activities. Stick around, you don't want to miss this.
With the leaves changing color and even an early snowfall, many people are missing the hot days of summer. While next summer may be a ways off, it's never too early to start thinking of fun things to do and great places to see. One place in Oklahoma that can take care of both is the Illinois River in Tahlequah, where you can see some of the prettiest landscapes in the state and have a good time floating the river. Student Jace Simon went this summer for the second time with his fraternity on a float trip.
So we rented out like a huge cabin, and it has like 60 bunk beds in the basement, and then you can bring a tent if you want to. So like it's a good little excursion, I guess.
Every year, tourists from around the state and the region descend on Tahlequah and the Illinois River to swim, float, camp, and generally make the most of their summer.
While floating the river can be a boatload of summertime fun, it is important to remember that the river is still a force of nature, as you can see from the log jam created behind me. And keeping that in mind, you should always remember to make safety your first priority.
Ed Feit, Vice President of Water Quality for the Grand River Dam Authority, which monitors and polices the river, says there are some simple ways to stay safe when floating.
Contact us and or contact whoever the river authority is in the particular area of the state they want to float. And can I emphasize enough, wear a life jacket.
So, after what is promising to be a long, cold winter, why not take a trip to see some of the most beautiful scenery in the state and cool off and get some sun while doing it? For Pete's Corner, I'm Daniel Norman.
I know it's a little chilly outside right now, but it's never too early to start planning summer vacation. So as you can see, here's the blue whale. I had to get closer to it because I just think it's the coolest thing ever. But the best thing about it is you can actually go inside, so come check it out. This used to be a popular spot for swimming because there are places to jump off of the structure. But like I said, you can no longer swim in the pond, so now this is purely a roadside attraction. Route 66 has brought so many fun and quirky things, but I think the craziest thing has to be the Route 66 Marathon. I mean, who wants to run 26.2 miles? That is crazy. I'm just kidding though, because I ran the half marathon, 13.1, and I just loved the atmosphere. It was so fun and so motivational. That's why we sent Riley Zerby to go and cover someone who has had their fair share of running.
3, 2, 1. That is what runners will hear when they're about to start running the Route 66 Marathon in Tulsa. The Route 66 Marathon first race was on November 19, 2006. With the marathon being named after Route 66, not only runners run across the historic road, but also pass by historic parts of Tulsa, such as the Meadow Gold District, the Brady Theater, the Center of the Universe, and many other places.
One of the executive directors of the Route 66 Marathon, Steve Udritsky, says how this race gives runners a different perspective.
So the race really does give you a good taste of the whole city. You get started out obviously downtown, and you actually go through Utica Square. We do go down Riverside this year and going by the Gathering Place.
The 26.2 long marathon is not the only race. The Route 66 Marathon has a half marathon, a 5K run, and many other types of races.
We have the 5K, it starts at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. We also have the 1 mile fun run, so for those that don't want to do a 5K. And then we also do a mascot dash. So we get a lot of the local mascots and have the mascot dash.
Now, if you ever plan on running one of these races of the Route 66 Marathon, I suggest to start practicing on some hills. The Route 66 Marathon was actually my first marathon, and the one thing that I struggled the most were the many hills that it has.
Bill Schamberger, a person who has ran many marathons, such as the New York City and the Chicago Marathon, has a certain technique of running when going up hills.
There are a lot of hills,
And so in training for those, I shortened my stride, I leaned forward into the hill, and I had my hand movement or my arm movements was like pulling a ladder.
So if you're ever thinking on running a race with many historic places in Tulsa, just run on down to the Route 66 Marathon and catch a glimpse of Tulsa's history. For Pete's Corner, this is Riley Zerby.
Okay, well that's it for this week's edition of Pete's Corner. I hope I've inspired you to create your own route as you travel Route 66. Now I'm going to fill up my tank one last time and I'm headed home. We'll see you next time.